Laura Lynn from the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and this is Long Arm Wednesday. Thank you for joining us today. We have a fantastic heirloom antique quilt on the long arm today. This is a part 2 of the 2-part series. The other one was right here. This was all done with blackwork, sorry, and it was a beautiful, beautiful quilt. And to save it, we sandwiched it. We sandwiched it between some sheer fabric to make sure that it could be used and loved and still seen and cuddled with. So this is the second one in the series here. This is a very small drunkard's path. It's all been hand stitched. Here, let's just go do a little example right here. All been hand stitched all the way around here, here, and here. It's very tiny. You can tell just by the size of my finger how tiny this is, and it's all been hand stitched. There is no batting in between this one. At least not that I'm feeling anyways. It's probably disintegrated. It's got a lovely scalloped edge here. We'll go scoot over there. So here's some beautiful, lovely scalloped edge. And then what I've done with the sheer fabric is I've come around, or with the stitching to make sure I'm going along this. I have some light blue binding that I'm going to rebind this. I'm keeping everything the way it was. I'm just going to come right next to it and put some new binding on, okay? I think it would just kind of shine this quilt up just a little bit. So we're trying to save it. So I didn't want to do anything too fancy. I wish I could have copied the drunkard's path in the stitching, but I can't. I do have something that's very similar, and to me it looks really good. So we're going to start quilting. To section this out, it was 90 by 70, and I'm doing 25 rows, but they're not very big rows. Okay, you can see off here. It's going to do like a scoop, and then a little line, and then an up. So it kind of mimics the drunkard's path, sewing like the way she built out the block, or whoever built out the block. Sorry, I shouldn't have said, just assumed it was a she. Whoever built out the block in the, for this beautiful quilt. So these are probably 60 years old, if not older, and we're trying to save them. That's what we're trying to do. We can't replace the fabric. It's not out there anymore. And to take it apart is just going to wreck it. So we're going to try and save it, and that's why we're sandwiching it. I have oiled it, no, watered it. It's a plant. I have oiled it. It's just getting a little grumpy, I think. So yeah, we're just super excited to be able to take these quilts that would have been stuffed in the closet or a box and completely forgotten about, to be able to use them and cuddle them again. I redid this with the red binding because it was what was originally on here, and I think it looks amazing, and it feels so beautiful to be able to cuddle with them and use them once again. Okay, so again, not a very long row. We're going to take Walt. We could hit the button, he would guide himself, but we're going to guide it for him. Okay, we'll come over here, go continue. There we go. And that's how I'm doing the whole thing. I don't have a lot left of this project. It's just a little bit here. So I'm on the last of the rows. You can tell there's a big gap here. I'm going to come over that very, very fine with the stitches. So it's going to be beautiful. I'm going to keep it all together. Could be once again used. Now my other options for saving a quilt like this was a very fine tool. It's like a soft fine tool to make that work for you. Obviously the sheer fabric that you would use for drapery or something like that also works. I'm not saying this is going to be washed every week and used every week, but it certainly could be put on the back of the couch or the chair and still used to cuddle, right? It will wear after time, but at least we can put a new leaf on it for at least about 20 years, hopefully. So, you're having a moment here. And of course it's not like square, so I'm doing my best to kind of keep it within the center of the quilt this way, and then leaving the border by itself. I am going to do lines just up and down on these little sections. Super easy and quick to make sure it all stays together. Okay. And again, a nice neutral white thread so it doesn't take anything away from the front of the quilt. We're just making it stay together, giving it another chance to exist and be loved. Such a beautiful, beautiful job this person did on making this quilt. On both of them. They're stunning. All the work that went into this one alone. Amazing. And I have loaded this on the long ways, not widthwise, not the longest across the top. I've done it to the short across the top because I used the salvage edges from the sheer fabric as my pinning. So it would be, there's less chance of rippage or, you know, poking holes that can't be, you know, rubbed out. So I'm like, if that's the easiest way that I'm going to get this to go, then that's the way I'm going to go. So, and that was, of course, pinning the back. The front, the top, I've just floated right on top. Yeah, it's definitely one you don't walk away from. You just kind of stand here and wait for the row to finish because it doesn't take very long. So. And then just reset up and then roll and then make sure we got the proper distance between each row, and we just keep going until this part is done. And it's not very, only 6 more. So I'm hoping with this little series that we had, it gave you some ideas on maybe saving one that you have, or if somebody comes across you and you can help them out. There's at least a couple of ideas out there to make it happen, right? And the sheer fabric feels really nice. And here you could just see a little bit there. It's just really sheer. And I thought one layer you'll just kind of dull the quilt a little bit. You're not making it disappear, right? I don't want to put it in like a sleeping bag sort of thing. I don't want to increase it so you can't never see it. I want it for them to be able to see this beautiful piece of art that has been handed down from generation to generation. And here's hoping my customer is very happy in the end. So far, so good. Okay, that's the last of this row, and then we're going to have to roll it, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to do that and get set up. Okay, there's the clamps, put them off to the side. Roll the quilt. Keeping things nice and taut. We only have a little bit more to go. Okay. Again, trying to make sure our top, because it is so sheer and it's very slippery, you don't want it running askew on your quilt top, okay? You want to try and keep them as straight and lined up as possible. Got nice even portion on both sides. Pull this little back out, bottom out a bit. Okay. It's looking good. And then we just reset up and finish those last little rows. Okay. Continue, and then we're going to do a hand guide so I can show you how I'm going around the scallop edge. Okay, you can see where I've left off right there. Just do a single stitch. I'm on 6 stitches per inch. Okay. And I'm just holding, I'm like pushing it between my index finger and my thumb to make sure it's not going to fold up on each other. Obviously, I don't want to sew close to my fingers, but you know, just to kind of get it so it's going to stay where I want it to stay. Just helping it along. Okay. Okay, and you can see how fragile that is. And I'm going to do that on the other side before I set the rows to finish up in this last little section here, okay? But isn't that beautiful? A beautiful piece of art, heirloom. Never to be forgotten. And let's just Tweak this out a little bit down here. And of course, it's got some little lumps and bumps, but really, don't we all? Don't we all got lumps and bumps? Right, there we go. And then we'll just set those last couple rows to stitch up. So I hope you are having an amazing day. I hope everything is going your way. And if it's not, tomorrow is always a brand new day. So big hugs to you, and we'll see you real soon, okay? Take care.